Okay.
Hey guys, it's Tiaz here from Tiaz Restorations. Today we're working on the 59 Impala. We got a boot strip, right? Nice, so we made sure it's nice and straight. It's got the correct curvature for the boot. Now, we had a problem where we had our rear piece, which I gotta find now. It's somewhere. You know, it's always hiding. Oh, hey, there it is. And so the problem was that the join there, right, is supposed to be joined together. You can see someone previously used some silicone adhesive to, you know, mount it to the boot and just kind of dodge it up. So all we need is just like a 90-degree bracket that'll slide into the lips, and then we can wedge it in together, just so it holds in place. Now it's, you know, in the air. So what I just did is just had a bit of mild steel, slightly easier to work with than stainless. I cut out the bracket. I've measured the distance from the point there to the point there. So it's about 2.5 centimeters. So I've cut out my bracket already. Here it is in the vise. So that's about a good distance, you know, if we go, let's say, half in like that, half into the other one. Now, what we can do is we'll pretty much line it up in the vise here. So you kind of want to get it on, literally on the middle of the black line, so we can get a perfect bend. Now, of course, if you had a proper bender, it would be easier. But like this, we want to get a bit of a curved bend. So then usually what I do is, you can grab a pipe or something. I like to just bend it a bit. Like a lot of people just use a hammer and they start hitting it, but that's going to just give you like an uneven bend. So just, you know, give it a roll like that. Kind of roll it in, roll it in. Now, you see, we have our rolled 90-degree bend. Then I flip it around, do it the same on the other side. Give it a roll. There we go. So now, if I got my measurements right, it should technically fit into here, but I know it won't because I cut it a bit bigger. So now, you see, now I can see that this edge there will pretty much fit right in. And so I need to shave off just a touch. So it's always better to cut it a bit longer because, you know, I want to get a really tight fit. But if I grind too little, it's not going to fit. So that's the problem. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to give that a little grind. So now that side, you see, that side's right in there, beautifully, and I can almost wedge. There we go. Look at that. Look at that. Perfect. You see, and we've literally almost recreated the exact same shape. See?
Awesome.
So now what we have to do is make sure it can actually slide into this end. So again, probably a bit off. What we should do first is we should we're making an instructional video.
I'm ready.
Yeah.
Keep going, Dad.
So we've bent the tab.
Howdy. Sorry.
Cut that out. So what we do now is we clean this silicone where someone tried to dodge it up previously because they couldn't be bothered making a bracket. But as you can see, it only takes 5 minutes and it's really simple. So, you know, just clean that up because, you know, it's just a pain, you know, like that's why when it was sitting on the car, it actually wasn't even flush. It was kind of sitting a bit high because the adhesive just grabs on and you can't really adjust it much.
Yes,
So-
stand back a little bit.
Yeah. So watch, so we give that a go like that. So now it's nice and clean. Now we can actually, hopefully, slide our piece in there. Actually, still, I guess maybe if I leave a bit of silicone in there, it could kind of bite into it. But the problem is that it's all about the tolerance. So if I leave that silicone in there, it's actually going to be like a little filler, and it's not, my measurements won't fit because of the silicone. So yeah, it's just, you know, just look, now I've just cut it out like that. Make sure the rail and the groove is straight. Now let's have a look at this piece and see if that piece would fit in. So we got to bend it in a bit. Usually try to get one end first, see if it matches up. Now it looks like it actually gets a bit tapered. So I'm gonna hammer this one in a bit. Beautiful. See? So you want it in about halfway. So now what I can do is, now I can grab my pen. Now we know, I can probably cut it down about 1 centimeter, maybe a bit more, just, so I can get a good fit, because the deeper in it gets, the harder it'll be to fit in. Plus, now I can do my measurement for this angle. So I need to cut it down a bit on that side and cut it down a bit on that side. So now I'll just slightly grind it there, and that should fit. So glasses on, get the grinder. I just hold it in my hand, turn it on, off we go. Bit of other side. The reason why I like to use the grinder instead of making it fit perfect is because I can make it fit perfect when I do it after. So look, you see this edge is right in there. Now that edge is in there, you see? That's a great combine and a filler piece. Now I've combined these two pieces into one piece, which saves a lot of effort. So now what I might do is I might just cut it down a bit, because it's pretty long. What do you reckon? This is sometimes a thing you got to try. Like, am I better off in jamming the whole thing in, or do I just cut it down a notch? Because I don't really, like, if it fits in, then yes, but it doesn't really fit in. So what I'll do is I'll give it another quick grind, because the more I get in, the more, it'll be tighter. So let's give it another grind. So, now let's have a look.
Stand back a bit.
Look at that. Right in. Beautiful. So, now if you come and have a look closer here, you can see that, the join is pretty good. Considering we just joined those two pieces together, I'm pretty happy with that. The only issue that I can see now.
Yeah, there you go.
So now that we got this secondary piece in place, now we want to make sure that this piece here fits flush. so it was actually sticking out a bit. So I'm gonna just slightly squeeze it a bit, you know, still keeping the contour, but just giving it a bit more tightness. And now this bottom piece is not gonna fit in, is it? Ooh, yeah, not very well. So we're going to have to do just a slight grind. As you can see that there's a step there now. There's a little step I had to do for adjustment. So now if we have a look, see? Perfect. Perfect. There it is. Perfect. It's joined together. We got a nice secure join. Now what I sometimes do is I create a wedge, so where it's a bit tapered, so it's a skinnier at the, you know, at the top, let's say, and a bit wider at the bottom. And then I usually grab my little hammer that I had here recently. Oh wow, almost got your eye there.
No worries.
So then you see there, I just start tapping. I tap it a bit down, you know, like dyslexia. Just really just tap it down just to get that solid join. That's great. There we go. Pretty solid. Pretty happy with that. So there you go, guys. There you have it. Before the pieces were loose and they weren't sitting well. Now they're sitting beautifully flush. And once that's mounted, I honestly don't even have to adjust it, because it's always good to have a bit of flex in these pieces. But you know, so that's it done. You could spend more time on it, and you know, it'll still be the same. It'll still be the same like this. As long as you can see the piece is nice and straight. Can you see the shine and the curvature in it? Yep. So a lot of people also say that, oh, it's a bit dull, or you can see that it's actually a nice finish. Sometimes what, you know, if I have the time, and again, I can show you that it takes you know 2-3 minutes to do. I get a drill. I get one of my buffing wheels or whatever I'm using on the day, for example. You know, I can use this brush, I can use a soft one, I can use a slightly harder one, which I actually sometimes prefer to use. Whoops, there goes the thing. So, mount this on the drill. There you go. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab some kind of polish. Honestly, I found out it doesn't matter. You can even use something like this. Metal saver, you know. What it does, it just really polishes the metal up, makes it shine nicely. So make sure whenever you use these products, actually give them a nice shake, because they do separate time to time. Cheers. Alright, so now, when it comes to polishing, the best way to do it is get a rag, put it on your lap, right? Just like this, for example. Now, get a bit of your milk. I usually just put some on there. You know, try not to make a mess. See, look, I've already missed, you know. Always try, you know, to be perfect without any spills or... And now what I'm going to do is make sure it's going in the right direction. And now I'm going to just start and come have a close look at the color difference. How you see how it's a bit matty. Now I'm going to start slow, and also the key is to do it slowly. Right, if you do it fast, it'll just burn up. The slower you go, the more shine you'll give it. So all you do is you just give it a couple passes. And do you see that shine?
The light's a bit,
Huh?
the light's a bit shitty, but like, you did this one.
So now watch. That's it. So now if I wipe this down, and now we can compare it with this shine and this shine. Can you actually see that difference? You can see the difference there. You see? Wait, hold the camera steady. So you can see the shine there, and then it just gets matte. You see? Wait, let's try to focus on there. You see? And here you see how it's shiny, reflecting, but here it's a bit matte and dull. Here, nice and clear. So as you see, that only took a couple seconds. So to do this whole piece, you know, you're looking at a couple minutes. So you know, and it's easy to do. It takes just a couple minutes, and you know, you don't really notice that it was dull before. It still looks good, but this here will definitely give it that extra shine. So when you put a bit more on, you go long like that, nice and long. Like that. Bang. You know, you'll be done in no time. And then when it's done, I'll show you where it fits, and that's it for this piece. So come have a look here. The piece it's a trim piece for the boot. It sits about there. Now we can still see that the curvature is a bit wrong, and we can also see that we have to come up a bit higher. So what that means is we just have to move one of these lock pieces slightly down. I can see it's actually pretty rusted, so I'll have to give that a little nudge after, but I know now that I have to come down a little bit. Once that's mounted, you can see that's our beautiful trim piece, and it'll be nice and shiny, and that's it. So there you go, guys. That's how to fix one of the trim pieces that, you know, may be faulty and may need a clean up. So I'll see you in the next video. Number 3.